Real Madrid decide whether they'll try and sign Alexis Mac Allister from Liverpool this summer. Liverpool could still sell a handful of players this summer as they look to recoup some money from an expensive transfer window. The Reds have spent big on Florian Wirtz, with the arrivals of Jeremie Frimpong and Milos Kerkez pushing spending towards £200 million. There have been some sales already, with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kevin Callagher, Nat Phillips and Jarrell Quansah bringing some money back to the Liverpool owners' coff. Of that quartet, Alexander-Arnold's exit to Real Madrid was easily the most difficult for Liverpool supporters to digest. And, sadly, the right-back is seemingly not the only player in Madrid's sights. Rumours continue to swell that Ibrahima Konate has decided he wants to join Los Blancos at the end of his contract next year. Along with the two defenders, though, there is a third player. Xabi Alonso is reportedly trying to snare from Anfield. And the former Liverpool midfielder has now reportedly made a decision on pushing for Alexis Mac Allister. Real Madrid will not make Alexis Mac Allister move. Mac Allister has been linked with Madrid after a quite stunning second season with Liverpool. Having been a key figure in the Reds' title win, the 26-year-old was nominated for the PFA Players' Player of the Year. A big honor. Clearly, Mac Allister has the quality to play for the self-styled biggest club on the planet. And with Alonso reportedly looking for a new midfielder, some at Anfield may be getting worried. However, according to Spanish outlet Cope, Liverpool fans can rest easy for this summer at least. They claim that while Madrid, like Mac Allister, the Argentine would likely cost more than £86 million. As a result, this is said to be something the club are not willing to do. Unfortunately, it is also claimed that Madrid will not go other options this summer either, suggesting a long-term plan could be in the works. Is Mac Allister in danger of 2026 exit? By now, Liverpool fans have long become sick of Madrid and their apparent obsession at targeting their players. And although this is clearly good news for the season ahead, it may so worry amongst the support that the Spanish giants will come back for Mac Allister next summer. As an Argentine, the appeal of going to a Spanish-speaking country would be clear for the number 10, and Madrid are a dream for many South American players. Obviously, Liverpool's price tag is unlikely to change, and may even go up if Mac Allister can have another stellar campaign. But, as this one continues to fill column inches in Spain, perhaps Liverpool should start to think about a new contract for the former Brighton man. Darwin Núñez transfer threatens to collapse as Napoli call Liverpool's bluff. Their attacker had a poor season throughout the 2024-25 Premier League campaign. As he contributed to 14 goals across all competitions. This poor form, coupled with his inconsistency in the final third, has sparked rumours of Arne Slot going on the hunt for a new number 9 this summer. Players such as Hugo Ekitike and Victor Osimhen have been linked with an Anfield switch over the last few weeks, but after this latest update on Núñez, it seems like a move for either of those players may be off the table. Napoli are set to reduce their contact with Liverpool over the transfer of Darwin Núñez. The Serie A giants are about to sell Osimhen back to Galatasaray, so they'll need a new number 9 up top to help take some of the load off of Romelu Lukaku. Most expected that player to be Núñez, but as per a report from Sky Italy, it seems like they're now close to finalizing the transfer of Lorenzo Luca. Napoli have already reached an agreement with Luca about his contract, with their aim being to complete the deal by the beginning of next week. The report adds that due to the way that things are advancing with the Italian, there will be reduced contact between the Serie A side and Liverpool about the potential transfer of Núñez. Liverpool must find a new club for Darwin Núñez as soon as possible. It's clear that Núñez's time in a Liverpool shirt has run its course, that is, even if Ali McCoist did call him unbelievable after his performance against Paris Saint-Germain back in March. Due to the attacker's inconsistency last season, both Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo were consistently used out of position last term, and, since the Anfield outfit have already spent close to £200 million on bolstering their ranks this summer, they need a way to recoup that money as soon as possible. At the moment, it's unclear whether Napoli or another team will come in with another bid, but one thing is for sure, they'll need to find someone who is willing to take a risk on Núñez for the price they want. Third club enter race to sign Luis Diaz as Liverpool stance tested once again. Luis Diaz's Liverpool future has been up in the air since the summer transfer window first opened. The attacker only has 2 years left on his current deal, and at the moment, the Reds are showing no signs of wanting to extend his stay. Despite not wanting to give him a longer contract, Arne Slot still sees the Colombia international as an important part of his plans going into the 2025-26 camper. Photo by Catherine Avil. Armour, Getty Images. However, he may have had a spanner thrown into the works, as it looks like another team has entered the race for the transfer of Diaz. Al Nassr have now made an inquiry for Luis Diaz. Since the start of June, Bayern Munich and Barcelona have been the two teams vying for Diaz's signature. Both European giants see him as their dream candidate this summer, with his 25-goal contributions last season likely contributing to those thoughts. However, as per a report from Sky Sports journalist Sasha Tavolieri, it seems like Al Nassr have made an inquiry regarding what it would take for a deal to be struck. Our friends at Anfield Agenda mentioned it, Al Nassr made initial approach to gauge Luis Diaz's intentions, he wrote via his personal X account. No official offer, just an informal inquiry to see if the Colombian might be interested to play in Saudi. As mentioned Monday, Liverpool wants to keep their talented winger. Bayern Munich made Luis Diaz a contract offer until 2030. Real Madrid will restructure club in this way and sell these players. Real Madrid president Florentino Perez, with the input of head coach Xabi Alonso, will restructure the first team, which could mean a number of player sales according to Sport, which cited anonymous sources. Los Blancos are reeling after being thrashed 4-0 by Champions League holders Paris Saint-Germain at the Club World Cup semi-finals in New Jersey on Wednesday afternoon. Though 2 goals in 9 minutes were directly down to defensive errors from Raúl Asensio and Antonio Rudiger exploited by Fabian Ruiz and Ousmane Dembele, the lack of collective effort that Alonso's predecessor Carlo Ancelotti often slammed in his final trophyless season was also a huge factor. Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe in particular have been highlighted for their refusal to muck in defensively, and there are other issues that Alonso has to iron out if his team are to return to the top of the pile in Europe while ending newfound domestic dominance from FC Barcelona. While Alonso tries to iron out the problem of making the mentioned attacking duo work, Perez will reportedly work on a major overhaul. It is clear that the team needs another centre-back, and Sport says the 2 defensive midfielders could arrive in the medium term as well. Above all, though, to bring in fresh faces and make room in the squad, Madrid will have to get rid of dead wood. After finishing last season in turmoil and dropped for El Clasico, Rodrigo is almost certain to leave with the Premier League clubs Arsenal and Manchester City, 2 probable destinations. Others that have few minutes such as Brahim Diaz or Dani Ceballos could also be moved on, while the trajectory of the aging David Alaba is uncertain. Furthermore, it can't be ruled out that youngsters such as Endrick, who now has not only Mbappe but also Gonzalo Garcia in his way, and Raúl Asensio, who hasn't convinced Alonso amid his red card and blunder-filled displays at the Club World Cup, are sent out on loan. Real Madrid has already decided on a possible central defender reinforcement. While Real Madrid would have to wait a little while, it has already reportedly decided on a defensive reinforcement in Ibrahima Konate. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold this year, he will be free in just under 12 months' time, in what would be another major coup for Perez. 4 players who could leave Real Madrid this summer. Real Madrid have been very active on the transfer window this summer, as the administration have made it clear that they will do what it takes to upgrade the squad after last season's results. So far, they have already acquired Trent Alexander-Arnold, Dean Howison, Franco Mastantuono, and are now close to signing Alvaro Carreras as well. Concurrently, however, it is vital that Los Blancos work out some sales to balance the books, the wage bill and the squad dynamics. Cadena Ser brings to light 4 players who could leave Real Madrid this summer. The 4 fated names, as relayed by the Spanish outlet, Rodrigo Goes, Gonzalo Garcia, Endrick and Dani Ceballos are the 4 players who could leave the Spanish capital this summer. Rodrigo's case has been clear for a long time now, and the manager barely counted on him in Real Madrid's recent Club World Cup campaign. Several Premier League clubs are said to be interested in his signing, but the player, so far, has insisted on staying. Though, it is clear Alonso does not count on him, and the player could thus leave in the coming weeks as Real Madrid look to make money from his transfer. His departure, thus, can be taken as inevitable as it stands. The young forward duo's case is more complicated, as it is relatively interdependent on each other. Gonzalo Garcia impressed in the recent tournament and left a lasting impression on Alonso. However, the manager still prefers Endrick over him and sees the Brazilian to be a superior talent, and thus opens the door for Garcia to leave on loan for a year. Concurrently, however, Real Madrid would not be opposed to selling Endrick should a high offer arrive, and, in that case, Garcia would continue at the club. Either player will thus leave the club, but it remains to be seen who. Dani Ceballos is the 4th player being linked with a departure from Real Madrid, and while he has not had a conversation with Alonso yet, it is quite clear that the manager has better options in midfield. He counts on more. As such, the midfielder's departure is highly likely with every passing day. Tebas hits out at Real Madrid over La Liga opener reschedule request. Already made it clear Javier Tebas, president of La Liga, has spoken out about the controversy surrounding Real Madrid's opening TCH of the season, initially scheduled for the 19th of August against Osasuna at the Santiago Bernabeu. The issue stems from Real Madrid's formal request to postpone the game in lieu of their participation in the FIFA Club World Cup. 4 players WHO could leave Real Madrid this summer. La Liga giants Real Madrid could part with any of a quartet of players before the summer transfer window is out. This according to Cadena Ser, who have this weekend provided an insight into the latest developments behind the scenes in Spain's capital. Real Madrid's squad are of course currently licking their wounds, following an unceremonious exit from the Club World Cup at the hands of Paris Saint-Germain in midweek. Los Blancos stars will now be afforded a short break, before returning to base at Valdebebas for pre-season training. As alluded to above, though, upon their respective returns, 4 such players could find themselves out of the project for next season. as per a report from Sir. We're putting 4 players and 4 possible departures on the table: Gonzalo, Rodrigo, Endrick, and Ceballos. Single quote. In the case of strikers Gonzalo Garcia and Endrick, only one, it is understood, would be allowed to depart, on a loan basis for the 2025-26 campaign. Either of Ceballos or Rodrigo, though, could be moved on a permanent basis, in the case of a sufficient offer arriving. Former Real Madrid star Marco Asensio looks set to leave Paris Saint-Germain ahead of the 2025-26 League One season. Asensio spent the second half of the 2024-25 season on loan at Premier League side Aston Villa as PSG sealed their first ever UEFA Champions League crown. His position was further impacted by Luis Enrique's call not to include him in the PSG squad for this summer's FIFA Club World Cup. Unai Emery opted against making his loan move permanent, with Villa's finances impacted by missing out on Champions League qualification, with Asensio heading back to Paris. The Spain international joined PSG from Los Blancos in 2023 as a free agent, but has struggled for prominence in the French capital, and now faces a key call on his future at the club. Marco Asensio transfer latest as PSG exit nears. As per reports from French outlet L'Equipe, multiple clubs have already reached out to PSG over Asensio's potential availability, if the club are willing to sell. Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce have tabled a €15 million offer, which falls just below PSG's valuation, but that figure could be renegotiated. Asensio is open to offers, and he wants to join a new club before the start of pre-season, with PSG's own campaign disrupted by their run to the Club World Cup final. AC Milan have revived their interest, but Villarreal are also considering a move, with Marcelino guiding his team back into the Champions League. The Yellow Submarine have received a major cash injection following Alex Baina's move to Atletico Madrid, and they are on the lookout for a new creative force. However, reports from Football Italia claim the link to Mourinho and Fenerbahce is not a dead end, and the Turkish side a conference ident over agreeing a deal with interest from Italy fading. Villarreal could offer Asensio a fresh chance to revive his career, after a stalled stint in Paris, and PSG are looking to sell him to avoid a possible free transfer departure in 2026. Spanish giants Real Madrid have reportedly set a minimum asking price for Arsenal target Rodrigo. The Brazilian's name has been closely linked to the Gunners throughout this transfer window, with rumors first emerging towards the end of last season. Preliminary discussions are believed to have taken place, but his involvement in the Club World Cup delayed progress. Now that the tournament is over for Madrid, Arsenal will hope to gain clarity on the player's status in the Spanish capital. Talks between Rodrigo and Real Madrid are expected to take place next week, with early indications suggesting Los Blancos are open to a sale. Real Madrid want €100 million for Rodrigo. As cited by Madrid's own, Real Madrid are unwilling to consider any offers below €100 million, £87 million. The club would reportedly allow the player to leave if he pushes for a move, but the asking price could prove too steep for the Gunners given their other financial commitments. Arsenal have already agreed a £52 million deal to sign Noni Madueke, pending a medical and official announcement. The club are also expected to sign a top-class striker for a significant fee. With Martin Zubimendi's fairly expensive acquisition and strong interest in Kerkez, funds may be stretched too thin to accommodate a Rodrigo bid. A limited Club World Cup hints at his future. The Brazilian's price tag follows a rather disappointing showing at the Club World Cup in the United States. Rodrigo started just once across Real Madrid's 6 matches. Of the 5 games he didn't start, he was overlooked entirely in 3, featuring as a substitute in only 2. His limited game time suggests he may not fit into Xabi Alonso's tactical plans, potentially boosting Arsenal's chances of landing the versatile forward. Rodrigo is undoubtedly a talented player, but is he truly worth €100 million? Contributions are much appreciated. So here are some simple rules which I must insist commenters follow. You agree not to give any personal abuse to other Arsenal fans. Everyone is allowed to hold their own opinions even if you disagree with them. It costs nothing to be polite to other Arsenal fans. Calling all Arsenal fans. Anyone who would like to contribute an article or video opinion piece on Just Arsenal, please contact us through this link.